All right. The first thing I want to talk about with the quadratic formula is the discriminant. Now, usually discrimination is not in a good connotation in our society. However, what the discrimination is to judge something. Like you judge a book before you read it, right? So what this does is it judges the whole formula before we go through the whole formula. So the only piece of the formula that we're going to do is b squared minus 4ac. Now, if you think about that, that b squared minus 4ac is inside of the square root. So if we have a positive inside the square root, it will tell us that we have a positive number. It will come out with two answers. And it will cross the x-axis twice. Maybe it will look like this. Maybe you want to draw that picture down. If you have the square root of 0 inside, what is the square root of 0? 0. So we can't really do plus or minus of 0. It's just going to be 0. So in that case, we no longer have two separate answers. We only have one answer, one real solution. So maybe your picture would look something like this. It will touch once, the very bottom, and come back up. And if we have a negative inside, we've just started talking about those, and we're going to cover them a little bit more here. But we're starting to get imaginary. And what that means is it will not cross the x-axis, so maybe it will look something like this. So it tells us a lot about it, so we can judge before we actually go through the whole thing. So at the very beginning of your homework, if you look at your homework assignment, it should be at the bottom here. Yeah. Okay. As well as online. If you notice, I did put them out of order. Do you notice that? Okay, so the first part is the discriminant as well. So this is what you're going to be doing for the discriminant as well. So first of all, number 1, do you notice how it's set equal to 0? Yeah. That's very important. And then look at all our coefficients. That weak coefficient, the a value is equal to 1. And the b value is equal to 3. And the c value, careful here, is -1. -1. All right, so again, the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. So what is b squared? 9 minus 4 times 1 times -1. Your multiplication first. Negative times a negative will become a positive. So this is 9 plus 4 is 13. Now, it will say how many solutions. And here's what I want you to write on your homework as well. 2 things on your homework. Underline this because I had folks come in today and they didn't have 2 things, so we have one of those things. Okay, the first thing I want you to tell me is the positive. So we'll have 2 real solutions. You can also shorten that down into groups. That's a nice sort of word for it. The second thing you're going to tell me is what does it tell you about the graph? How many times will cross? So you're going to write down cross twice. And then on your homework, you should have both of these. Before we start number 2, what do you notice? It's not set equal to 0. You notice this is the same thing as factoring. We always set equal to 0 first. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is add over that 1. Plus 1 is equal to 0. So looking through here, our a value is 4. Our b value is also 2, and our c value is b squared minus 4ac. B squared. 16 minus 4 times 4 times 1. And this Murphy will have to be a positive or negative. And negative. Okay, in this half, 4 times 4 times 1. 16. We get 0. So again, you can't do the square root of 0. Well, you can do the square root of 0. Just not have 2 answers. How many do we have now? 1. So the first thing you're going to answer for me is I'll have 1 real root. The second thing you're going to say is how many times will touch. You can copy down verbatim what I have in here. That is a negative, this one, and then that. This and then that. So tonight on your homework, 2 answers. We're good. what type of solution, and what will do your graph.
Why do you the
Because I took the numbers right here. This is b squared, and b is 4. So 4 squared is 16. Minus 4 is 6. So follow in the formula. Always follow that formula. We're going to continue to follow the formula. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start solving. So, this time we're going to go all the way through. We're not going to judge it before we do that. We're going to find the thing. We're going to do the full formula. Now, the other thing I want to point out before we begin is that I'm using x right here because it says x right here. So in your homework, if this says n squared and n right there, what letter will you put down there? N. Very good. Additionally, farther into algebra, you will not have squares to first. You will have fours to seconds, or sixes to thirds, like this. And we started those a little bit in factors as well. So say it was a 6 to 3, you wouldn't have x the first time here, you would have x to the third. So it's always coming from this guy right here, your middle. So whatever letter it is, that's what goes there. Alright. So number 3, is this set equal to 0? Yes. So you have to know what's the invisible a value. 1. Okay. This relates to b value. Mr. Sandberg, the c value. 2. Okay, I'm going to use what letter? Okay, I'm going to write x equals opposite of b, opposite of negative 3, 3. Plus or minus the square root negative 35 of b squared. What's negative 3 squared? 9 minus 4 times 1 times 2. Half over 2 times 1. That's it. That's it. So now all we have to do is simplify. It's already rationalized for us. So nice. Just remember, you have to do your multiplication first to discriminant. So 4 times 2. Yes, ma'am, thank you.
oh
Alright guys, 4 times 1 times 2.
thank
Thank you. I'm going to back to the So 3 plus or minus the square root, what is 9 minus 8? Okay. And we do know the square root of 1 is 1. 1. So we have x is equal to 3 plus or minus 1 all over 2. And we're going to use 2 a's across the top. 3 plus 1 gives us divide by 2. 2. Make a comma. 3 minus the 1. Divide by 2. Those are our 2 answers. Right there. Give it 2 hints. Oh, alright. We're going to do the same thing on number 4. First question, is this equal to 0? Yes. I can find it. What is the a value? Okay, everyone be really careful. What is the b value?
0.
Ooh, good. Okay, why? There's no x. Oh, okay, Miss Mo. And what is the c value? Oh. And what letter am I going to use? X. Okay, x equals the opposite of b. The opposite is 0. It's still 0. Plus or minus the square root of 0 squared.
0.
Minus 4 times 2 times negative 10. You look at this one. Negative 10 to negative will give us a positive. Positive 2 times 2. Okay, positive 4 times 2 times 10. Well, we already put in positive. So I'm just going to put the numbers. 4 times 2 times 80. 80. Okay, plus or minus the square root of 80. All over 4. Ooh, 80 can be simplified. What's the biggest perfect square? And big. 4 is not 16, 25. 25. Oh, why is 13? But that's 16. 16 is the third one. Don't do the fifth. It's the 2 sides. So the top is these 2. 4. Plus or minus 4 root 5 over 4. Oh, what else? The fourth cross off, right. So our answer is that x is equal to plus or minus root 5. All right, 2 of those are done. So let me pause this